Well, welcome back. Today we're going to do a quick video on how to make a basic bechamel sauce, and from there we're going to add a few little extras, and we're going to roll into how to make a croque monsieur, which is a classic French sort of toasted sandwich, which I think you'll really enjoy. Now, it's not diet friendly, so we'll get that out in the open right from the word go, but it's a good way of using up some leftover barbecue pork or roast pork or some ham. And yeah, it's great on a cold day. I think you'll really enjoy it. Okay, guys. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is preheat the oven to about 180 degrees. While that's going, got a saucepan on. We're going to warm it up, and what we're going to do is melt some butter, and we're going to make a roux. So just a medium to sort of low heat, and I've just got it on the smallest burner that I've got. So what we want to do is just get that butter nicely melted, and then once that's done, we're going to add in some flour. So remember, a roux, equal parts butter and flour. So I've got 20 grams of butter, and once it's melted I'm going to throw in 20 grams of flour, and we'll give that a bit of a stir around. Now remember, it's a blonde roux, so because it's a white sauce, so we really only need to cook the flour out for about sort of 2 minutes, 3 minutes at the absolute most, just to cook out the taste of the flour. So that's pretty much ready to go, so I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to tip in the flour and give a bit of a stir, mixy. Here we go. That side. I'll turn that heat down a little bit with a lower heat, and you can see that's coming together nicely. So we just want to incorporate all the flour with the butter, get that cooked down. Turn that right down. And then once we've made our roux, what we're going to do is set that aside to cool, and then we're going to heat up the milk and flavour the milk. That's what will create the base for the sauce. So I've cooked down the flour, and I've put that aside to, I've made the roux, put that aside, and now I'm just going to warm up this pan. And what I'm going to do is put in this pan some full cream milk. I put in half an onion with cloves in it, and 1 bay leaf. So that's it. So what we're going to do now is bring that up to the simmer, and we're just going to sort of warm that through, get the flavours through, and then we're going to strain it off into the cold roux. Remember, we want to add the warm liquid to the cold roux, and then we'll whisk it through. So the milk's come up to the simmer nicely, it's flavoured, it's taken a couple of minutes. So what I'm going to do now is turn the heat off, because what we want to do initially is strain this through into the cold roux. As you can see, that's sitting there. So we want to strain that milk through. I'm going to put all of it through. Some people put half through, some put it all. I'm just going to put it all through. And now what we're going to do is mix that through with the whisk. Make sure it's all incorporated before we put it back onto the heat to thicken up. So we want to make sure that all that roux is incorporated with the warm milk. Get rid of any lumps out of it. Alright, so there you go, I'm happy with that. Now, it's already started to thicken a little bit, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a couple of extra ingredients. So that's your basic bechamel sauce. It's probably taken all of about 10 minutes to make. So what I'm going to do now is add a few little extra things in there that's going to flavour it for the next step, which is the croque monsieur. thing that I want to add in there is I'm going to put just a teaspoon of French mustard and just a little drizzle of Worcestershire sauce, so just a little splash like that. And mix that all through. I'm going to put the heat back on a little bit. And I'm going to throw a little bit of cheese. So there's enough residual heat in the pan to melt the cheese and incorporate all the other ingredients there. If you're not happy with the colour of it, if you like it a little bit lighter, then you can just reheat a little bit of milk and place it on. Obviously it's not going to take long because your milk pan will still be warm, so it's not going to take long to a minute or two to bring some more milk back up to the simmer. There we go. And that is the sauce for the Croque Monsieur completed. Now we're going to go on to the next part. Okay, so for the next bit, we get some nice crusty bread. So for me, I got some Vienna loaf. And what we're going to do is we're going to put some of that beautiful cheesy bechamel sauce onto the one side of the bread, give it a nice thick coat. Don't be shy. Spread it around. Alright, look at that. It's beautiful. It's got the melted cheese through it. Okay. Now this one. Now you'll notice I haven't put salt or pepper in this. If you're into this mix, I usually salt it towards the end, but given that the ham has got a bit of salt in it, I don't want to go overboard with that. If you're going to use pepper, make sure white roux, white pepper. That's generally the rule with that. So now that we've done that, we're going to layer on some nice fresh ham. So I'll put the ham on. Oh, this is looking good. Alrighty, and now we put some grated cheese. So traditionally you'd use something like Gruyere or something like that, but good luck finding, it depends where you live. Where I live, you're not likely to find it. They think that vintage cheddar is quite flash. Okay, so now we're going to put that together, and this is where it starts to get really bad. We're going to warm it up in a frying pan with some butter and then finish it off in the oven. Alrighty, so I've got the butter melting, my frying pan. When that's ready to go, I'm going to put this in. Cook one side first, then turn it over, cook the other side. Alright, so as you can see, that's come up nice and golden brown both sides. So now I'm just going to put a little bit of alfoil over the top of it, and that's just going to sort of stop it from drying out a little bit in the oven. Put that over it, keep some heat in, and I'll now whack it in the oven for about 5 minutes. When it comes back out, I'll show the end result. And there you have it. It's fresh out of the oven, nice and nicely toasted. Come around the side here, it's beautiful. The cheese and the bechamel are nicely melted. So the bechamel, you probably notice I made it fairly thick, and that's because obviously you don't want it running out of the sandwich. You want it to set nicely in the sandwich. So what I'm going to do is cut it open for you and show the inside. And there you have it. The cheese and bechamel is nicely melted. It's nice and warm inside, and certainly looking forward to tasting this. Alright guys, give it a go. Hopefully it's helped you realise that making a bechamel sauce is quite easy, and that from there you can adapt it to make cheese sauces and all sorts of things. So thanks for watching, enjoy, and catch you next time. Bye.